Hello and welcome to a special Gander at my gear, because there's a new item in my collection, a bass guitar. So I've recently got a bass guitar for the first time in 15 years. And little do many people know, I actually started out as a bass player. I was the bass player in the Annabelle Club, and bass was my first instrument, and I borrowed the school's bass for a little while, and then I saved up some money by mowing lawns and painting fences and doing little odd jobs around, and bought an Encore bass guitar. It was a 4-string bass guitar, but I took 2 of the strings off after the G and the D were confusing me, and only had a 2-string bass guitar. It wasn't as cool like great bands like Morphine or anything like that. I was just a bit shit. So anyway, I had that bass guitar. I ended up putting the 4 strings back on it, and then one of the keys broke on the G because I threw it into, we thought we were Nirvana. We trashed our gear and one of the keys broke. So I ended up saving up and buying a new one, which was like a Tanglewood 5-string bass, which I was starting to get better at bass by then, and like looking into dub stuff and things. I wasn't that good, but I was good enough to be able to use all 5 strings. And then I kind of drifted into being the singer. So I had this bass guitar around for a while, and I played it in Shima and stuff like that, but then drifted away from it as I kind of became a singer. And then I kind of got a bit broke a few years ago, say 15 years, I think it was 15 years ago, something like that. When I first started touring, I was pretty broke, so I sold it. And then I briefly had a stint where I borrowed a friend of mine, Chris Goodman's Esmeralda, I believe it was called, acoustic bass guitar, because I thought, well, maybe I would change my solos thing into like acoustic slide bass. Kind of found it a bit limited, so decided to stick with guitar and banjos and stuff. But since then, I haven't had a bass guitar for about 15 years and really missed it. I mean, in the studio, borrow bass, like John Hannon had a bass in the studio, and some places I've recorded, there's a bass guitar lying about, and I'll stick on some bass guitar, stick a bass line, or if I'm not feeling that I could really give it what I want with the bass guitar, I can sort of explain to a bass player what I'm after. Somebody like James Harvey, who's just played on the new album, and then there's people like Mike Watt, who I've just recently worked with, who is the ace of bass players, really, and just love hearing the sound of a good groovy bass guitar line. But I do like playing around with one, and I really wanted one, so I was thinking, oh, I'll get something. And I've always loved the Rickenbacker. I've loved the shape, and this one is kind of shaped like a Rickenbacker. Now, the reason it's shaped like a Rickenbacker is I can't afford a Rickenbacker. They're insanely expensive. And if you're like a pro bass player, then hey, that's instrument for the job. But I was looking at the Tom Man one, and they do like a copy, and I asked a friend, and he said, you know what, I can make it for you. And my friend Vincent Sleggers, what an awesome dude, former tour mate, future tour mate, made me this beautiful, beautiful bass. Kind of shaped like a Rickenbacker. Lovely finish on it, headstock, lovely little tortoiseshell finish there, and it's got 2 pickups, one there and one inside there under the pick guard, and tone and volume controls with the switchable pickup control, and it just sounds really nice. Sounds absolutely lovely. He's done a really great job, so big up Vincent Sleggers for this wonderful bass guitar. And it's really nice to be back playing bass again. I'm going to put it on a few of the demos and also on a few of my home recording stuff. But yeah, it's really nice to play bass again. I've missed it. Really, really, weirdly missed it. It's an absolutely awesome instrument. It's rhythmic and melodic at the same time. Love it.